I'm back with some more in-depth look at the problems of our youth. I had mentioned at one point early how dangerous that MySpace has been for kids. Being kidnapped or if not kidnapped, at least they were placed in a dangerous situation. Most of the time, it has to do with sex. But I thought you might be interested in hearing one silver lining in the midst of the smoke that surrounds such issues. The FBI, through computer technology, knows who signs on to such websites and how often, making it a little more difficult for predators and their subscribers to escape the long arm of the law. Furthermore, in other local news, there's a story about a 17-year-old boy who raped a 9-month-old baby boy. I don't really believe in fate. I don't believe that somebody is a natural born killer. But people are groomed. Kids are groomed by adults. Either the adult's lifestyle rubs off of them, or they let them watch any stinking thing they want to watch, no matter how graphic it might be. There's all kinds of things that contribute to the delinquency of our minors. I'm going to read a little bit more out of my book here. Later, the local newspaper placed a picture of the predator. This is the 17-year-old boy that raped the little boy. Later, the local newspaper placed a picture of the predator posing with his dad in full metal jacket, complete with machine guns in hand. I had to stop and wonder. This kid didn't, jump out of his mom wearing camis and toting a rifle. But how many of you know that it can go beyond that? Like the major headlines of a boy that was inside the trunk of a car and the guy was driving and the boy was shooting pedestrians. A lot of people got hurt during that time, but it was an adult and a kid. And then, you think about someone like Jeffrey Dahmer, one of the most notorious and heinous criminals of our time. Not only luring people into his house, where he would knock them out with drugs or worse, but he would go beyond having sex with the corpse, necrophilia, and end up eating many of his victims. How many of you know that, again, how many of you know that that is not something that a little baby in a cradle was prepared to be? He was just like any other little baby. The father of Jeffrey Dahmer, in a news interview, claimed that he had no knowledge about the horrific and perverted pathway that his son was traveling. A lot of times, I think the effect of Hollywood motion pictures can have on a very young mind. By the time they're in their middle teens or even earlier than that, nothing much shocked them. They've seen graphic multi-murders from their heroes like Freddy Krueger and Jason and Michael Myers. Anyway. And they learn to enjoy it. It's enjoyable to watch horror movies. And little kids, they idolize the killer as a hero. Let me look at the last bit of this page here. Oh, yeah. Dr. Dobson, a Christian author, interviewed Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was another one of the serial killers here in Washington. Nobody knows exactly how many girls that he tortured and raped and killed. Not always in that order. You can revert it too. And so Dr. Dobson asked Ted before he was executed, he says, what put you on the road to do such terrible things to think. I mean, what put you on the road? And he said, well, when I was growing up as a little kid, I was watching horror movies, and they impacted me and helped me get a start. Then he went on to explain that in movies, there could be a teenage girl, they're laying on a bed doing the deal, and all of a sudden a sword comes up and skewers them both together. So it's like right at the moment of the audience watching are turned on, and then boom, it switches gears into the evil. It switches gears into maybe introducing appetites that no child is meant to ever happen. I often sometimes wonder about Adam and Eve. She didn't eat an apple. It doesn't say an apple. Grabbed a fruit off a tree. She was supposed to gain knowledge. Well, it wasn't good knowledge. It was everything that Satan had planned to destroy mankind. Everything he could plant in people that would start messing up God's plan right off the top. You look at Adam and Eve's children. Cain murdered his own brother Abel. Well, where did that come from? Well, unfortunately, mom and dad disobeyed God. They bit and ate from the fruit of the tree of knowledge, life and knowledge, and then whatever they gained, they passed it on to their children. And then you get the snowball effect over thousands and thousands of years, and here we are. It's my opinion that we're not approaching the last days. I personally believe we're in the last hours, as thousands and thousands of kids are not only exposed to sexual abuse, but are becoming abusers themselves even before they reach adulthood. Once again, I would like to invite your comments, whether pro or con, whether positive or negative, and if you have some advice that you feel that the listeners would really enjoy, go for it. Also, the excerpts that I'm reading from, you will find on my other website, The Blogger, where you can actually read the material. There's things I'm not actually commenting on here on the video blog. But we're just going to continue to unwrap things. My heart's desire is to expose the devil for his plan to destroy the youth of a nation. One last thing I want to say is, if he can ruin the youth, there won't be anyone to take us into a positive tomorrow future. Thank you. Bye-bye.